This is why I make videos like this. All right, man. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. I was scrolling on the internet and I came across this very interesting TikTok video. Um, and she said some things that I disagree with, but I want to play the video and I'm going to speak how I feel about it. So let's let the video play and then we'll come back and discuss.
Accurate. Dating in the black community, especially for black
Dating in the black community is very much so different.
I wanted to hop on this because what she said is very, very, very accurate. Dating in the black community, especially for black women, is very, very hard. I mean, normally when a black guy comes to you and says you want to get together, you want to hang out, you want to go out, it's code for do you want to come back to my place? There has yet to be any black guy who has asked me to go out with them and they have not said, oh, we're just going to go back to mine. And then my ex did take me out on dates, but like, I told him that I hated planning anything because I'm always the planner for everything. And the day before the date, he told me to think of everything. So I had to do that. Then he didn't have no car, even though he lied and said he did. So we took mine and I let him drive. But then he looked over and said, oh yeah, I don't have a driver's license. So we had to switch and I had to drive. Then when we got there, I had to pay for like half the food. And that happened for like every single one of our dates. So when white guys started asking me out on dates, they actually took me out. And I had like anxiety because I didn't know how to even function in that setting.
Where do I begin? Where do I begin? All right. First off, you sound like you have a lot of issues. That's number one. You sound like you have some internal issues going on. How did you not know that your boyfriend didn't have a driver's license? How did you not know that? So let me get this right. And this is why I think this story that she said was really kind of sketchy. So your boyfriend got in the car. You got in the car. He started driving. He looked over to you and said, I don't have a driver's license. And then y'all pulled over and you switched with him and drove. Your boyfriend, the guy that you were seeing, your ex-boyfriend, you went out on dates with this guy. I don't understand how you going on dates with your boyfriend. But anyway, you go on a date with your boyfriend and you pay for half the food. See, my problem with women like this is they always looking for an excuse to say that something isn't right. You picked the wrong guy. Doesn't mean that every black guy is like that. No. The way you came off in this video, you made it seem like everybody, it's like you can't date nobody from the black community because everybody is bad. That's how you came off. You went to the extreme. Everything you said was to the extreme. And then you said, when you started dating white guys, you didn't know how to take it. You had anxiety. So obviously you knew. Here's my thing. You knew what a good date was. Because if you didn't, how do you compare? You had to know what a good date was. You had to. So you probably had one or two good dates before. But how do you get anxiety and you don't know how to take it because a guy is taking you out? Isn't that what you wanted? So how is that you had anxiety? This is what make me believe that you really was just running game. You didn't have no anxiety. And if you did, that must mean that you probably had anxiety because you was out with a white guy. Not the fact that he was doing everything for you. It's just it's unbelievable how some of these females, they go out their way, especially black women. They go out their way to talk crazy about black men. I don't understand it. You really went out your way to make this video and say, oh, everything she said was true. The girl said dating in the black community could be frustrating or it could be tough or whatever she said. But she didn't go off the deep end. Because I can say that too. Sometimes dating in the black community can be kind of tough or frustrating. Especially when you're around certain people that don't really have nothing going on for themselves. And it's all you have to pick. So I can understand that point. But not everybody is like that. And there's few far in between. You might be living somewhere where there might be some good people there. Matter of fact, a good portion, probably some good people there. But this is what makes me mad with videos like this. It pisses me off. It really does. Because you went to the extreme on everything. Everything. Like, listen to this.
Is very much so different.
I wanted to hop on this because what she said is very, very, very accurate. Dating in the black community, especially for black women, is very, very hard. I mean,
see, and that right there is what I'm saying. The girl said,
Dating in the black community is very much so different.
she said that dating in the black community is very much so different. She didn't say nothing else after that. She didn't say nothing. You jump on her, cut her off, because she could have said very much different. Black men or I used to date white guys and black men just are so much better. She could have said that, but you jumped and cut her off and just jumped right in.
I wanted to hop on this because what she said is very, very, very accurate. Dating in the black community, especially for black women, is very, very hard. I mean, normally when a black guy comes to you and says you want to get together, you want to hang out, you want to go out, it's code for, do you want to come back to my place?
That's not code for that. Yo, first of all, how you gonna tell a man what it is a code? You're not a man. That's not a code. Like, oh, let's go out and have dinner. What the real code is, let's go back to my house. But then he says he don't want to go back to her house.
There has yet to be any black guy who has asked me to go out with them, and they have not said, oh, we're just going to go back to mine. And then my ex did take...
You see what I'm saying? So there hasn't been no black man that took me out and said, well, we just going to go back to mine. So I don't know if she's saying go back to her place or he's saying go back to his place. I don't understand that. But either way, so how are you knocking him for saying this is a code for go back to my house, but then you're going to say, oh, well, I haven't dated a black man that ever asked me to go back to my house. What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't understand it. What are you talking about? And then dating a black men and having an ex that was a fuck up, you can't lump them all together. It's two different things. You can't.
Me out on dates, but like I told him that I hated planning anything because I'm always the planner for everything.
Okay, so see, and this is another thing. It's always on your terms. I told him that I hate planning things. So, okay, I hate planning things. I told him I hate planning things because I'm always the planner. Well, maybe that's your role. Maybe your role is the planner. You ever think of that? Just like you want men to be a certain way, maybe your role is the planner. I don't understand it. I really don't. So you're confusing me with this with your argument. I wish I could have this girl on my podcast because I want to talk to her. I want to talk to her. I really do.
The day before the day, he told me to think of everything, so I had to do that. Then he didn't have no car.
Okay, so in this, hold up, see, and hold up now. Hold up. You just said So you're telling me that you wanted him to plan everything, and you wanted him to pick you up and take you out, but y'all in a relationship, so it's supposed to be y'all working together. How did you not know he didn't have a car? And how did you not know he didn't have a license? I don't understand it.
And he didn't have no car, even though he lied and said he did. So we took mine and I let him drive. But then he looked over and said, "Oh yeah, I don't have a driver's license." So we had to switch, and I had to drive. Then when we got there, I had to pay for like half the food, and that happened for like every single one of our dates. So when white guy
That happened for like every single one of our dates. That means that only happened one time. So every single one of your dates, he told you he didn't have a car. Every single one of your dates, he told you, every single one of your dates, he told you he didn't have his license. Every single one of the dates, he made you pay for half the food. You probably was just his friend, or just a jump off. And you gotta know what you are. You probably was a jump off, but you trying to make it seem like you was much more than that. Don't do that. Don't lump men together. Like, all black men ain't like that. And in fact, matter of fact, a good portion of black men do pay for meals. You just probably dealt with a couple of fuck ups, or maybe one fuck up, and then because that's the whole story is about your ex. It ain't about the other guys. It's about your ex. It's not about the other guys. So what you did is you took that one story and held it over everybody's head, especially the men that you date, and held over all the black men that you dated head and said, "Well, I was in a relationship I was with somebody and he made me pay half the meal, and he made me do this, and I'm not a planner. He made me plan. I ain't like that, and he ain't have a car, and yeah, that's you. That's what you did. You used that as a scapegoat." Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. You know what it is, man.